Hey, what's up, guys? So this is what's going on this morning so far. Good old Windows 10 circle of wait. So we're going to be experiencing some bit of technical difficulty this morning, it appears, before I'll be able to cue into you guys. So let's see what's going on. I got notification from Big Bad Toy Store that my War Machine Punisher is coming, or Punisher War Machine. Not sure how best to say that. Trying to get some juice plugged into this so it doesn't go dead on me. So that should be here in about a week, maybe, or two. Normally takes about 2 weeks for Big Bad Toy Store to get to me. I also got notification from a Hong Kong shipper that my Spider Gwens are coming. I'm probably really super more excited about that than anything. The Spider Gwens. I don't remember if those were made by Young Rich or MC, but those I'm really stoked over. Uh, I'll probably get the Spider Gwens, believe it or not, from Hong Kong before I'll get the Big Bad Toy Store. I'm not sure about when either of them will actually arrive. Depends, I guess, on the nature of things. I don't think I've had a Hong Kong toy come since the coronavirus. The last one I got, the last one I had was my Spider-Man, right? And that came from, I don't remember if it came from Sideshow or Big Bad Toy Store, but that was the last one that I've had come in since COVID. Um, so as I was going to do a live show, a show this week of the 4K. I was going to 4K all my figures, and then do a premiere of it. I remember to realize that I didn't talk about the Avengers: Age of Ultron, which is interesting because that was really the set that got me most excited about collecting the entire Marvel lineup. Was Age of Ultron figures, and they're in the other room, so I'm going to bring them in here, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Is the Avengers: Age of Ultron, and two of them are already in here, and we've already really kind of discussed them before, but I don't think we actually really did. So start off with the Hulk, because he's already in here. So this was their second Hulk that they've released. The first one was the Avengers Hulk, which has the brown pants on him, and you could get him in two ways. And I never got him; I always ended up missing him. And so I was very pleased to get this Hulk with his Age of Ultron Tony Stark pants on him. And there was two ways you could buy him. You could either buy him in, I think it was this form, which had the articulated arms, or you could get the deluxe form, which has his arms raised. And I don't know where I put that at right now. It's in a box someplace, and I don't know where it is. It's kind of the reason why I bought that crazy toy, because I was hoping I could put that bust onto the crazy toy, but it doesn't fit. It's not the same scale. It's not interchangeable. He's actually larger, and the other one I bought is smaller. So I bought two of those, and I mean he's much smaller. And he came with two head sculpts. And now the other head sculpt on the other bust too. Wherever that is, it's in a box. And I'm sorry guys, I should have got that ready. I just wasn't prepared. The other figure, which is in here, is this Vision. And I was really disappointed. And I don't remember. Maybe you guys can tell me. But they said they were going to release a second Vision, and they never did. We only have just the one. I don't know if it's because there wasn't enough difference in the second one or what the deal was. I thought the second one had a different cloak. Maybe he doesn't. But we only got just the one Vision. And he didn't come with this tall of a figure stand. But I think he was the only one that came with this figure stand. I found out later that all of these shaped stands will hold this assembly. The holes are there. They're just underneath the plastic. And all you have to do is just poke the extra 2 holes into it. So all of the figure stands come with 2 holes visible. You poke the other 2 holes out, and you can put one of these in here. So you can put your other figures, for instance, Scarlet Witch and Iron Man, or any other figure you want to put into a flight pose, into this, or use this stand for anybody else. They all came with this. The hole's already in the stand. Just this piece of plastic would be covering up the other 2 pieces, other 2 holes. So you can put them in there. I want to show you Hulk's face real quick. Let's get some light on him. I've always been impressed with this head sculpt. The teeth look very real. They're kind of wet and shiny. I've just always been impressed with that. And while I have the camera here, let's get a good close-up here on Vision. One thing I thought for a fact that they could have done, and it's kind of morbid, I guess, when you think about it, is a gray Vision without the Infinity Stone in him. And this is the only Vision we ever have. And he came with a Thor Mjolnir. And there was a time when they were handing out Mjolnirs left and right. I don't know how many Mjolnirs I have. I think a couple of them are die cast. I think this is one of them. Yeah, this one's die cast. Most of them are plastic. A couple of them light up. Obviously the die cast ones don't. And the cape has a wire in it for posability. So you can bend it open as such. Which is nice. I thought they did a good job with the Vision. One thing I was really pleased to see on, I think it was Thursday, they announced the new Loki. And he started as being Loki from Avengers Endgame. As he is, but most importantly, he's Loki from Avengers, which is probably one of the more expensive figures out there. The first Loki from Avengers. And this gives you an opportunity now for collectors like myself who've never had the opportunity to pick him up. I mean, he's been pushing $800 for years, and now they're re-releasing him in his guise of Avengers Endgame, where they had gone back in time and to grab the Infinity Stone, the Tesseract actually, to be able to have all the Infinity Stones to do what they needed to do at Avengers Endgame. Looking at the photographs of the prototypes, there's little difference in where the green meets the black on his chest. I didn't notice any other differences between the 2 photographs. Now, I don't have the real figure to be able to see whether or not it came into production as the prototype photos show, because that's not always the case. They literally tell you this image is prototype only. It may be subject to change before it's actually released. So I don't know whether or not the Avengers Loki figure has the green and black mark connecting on the body the same place that the photographs do. If they do, and if the new one comes as the prototype photo shows it, there will be a stark difference between the two figures. If they don't, they just re-release it as the exact same mold or whatever, or scrap or whatever they have, or design that they have from their Avengers um, Loki, then it'll be the same on there. But I'm excited about that because now I'm able to have that Loki in my collection. So of course I ordered that. Um, the Big Bad Toy Store, he was only one per customer, so I was wanting to get two of them. It doesn't come out to 2021, like third quarter 2021, is a year and a quarter, a year and a half away. Because by the time I get it, would be around Christmas time next year. Just plenty of time to come up with $260 or $270 or whatever he's selling for, which is a good price still on a hot toy figure. But back on this, by the way, all this one seamless body, and I've not had any problems with this that I'm aware of, cracking or ripping apart or flaking. And he's been in this pose since I've had him, which would be probably 5 years thereabout, I believe. This Vision. So let me go get the other Avengers. I'm still waiting for my computer to turn on. I'll be back in a sec. And my back is having a good time today, so bear with me. I'm gonna have to break out the cane. I have them on what was called the Avengers base, and it's actually, they sold them as a 3-pack. I bought just one of them, and you would essentially be able to recreate the was it a cathedral or wherever it was they were fighting in Sokovia, where Ultron Prime and the Avengers had their final battle against all the sentries and everything. So I bought one of those. 3 of them would just be huge, be over 3 feet in diameter, and you could. And if you bought all 3 of the same, if you bought 3 of the identical pieces, you could make a complete circle and have your Avengers in this diorama circle. And one of them is large enough, so that's why they're in these specific poses without figure stands. This Age of Ultron Black Widow is one of my favorite Black Widows. And if I knew how to handle the hair better, some of you guys out there really are able to control the hair on your figures. I am not. I am not. Her hair is totally frizzed out. And I don't even live in a humid area. But she's just totally frizzed out. And they tell me, put product in her hair, you know, I'm assuming like real, like shampoo and conditioner and stuff that you would put in our hair. But I'm so scared to do anything like that to these figures that I end up with this frizzy hair. I'd like to tame it. I really would. And I would love someone to hold my hand and make sure I'm doing this right in regards to fixing her hair. But I've always thought that this was one of my favorite Black Widows. Age of Ultron Black Widow. This comes with a big monster gun. Come on. Stand up. Trying to get some light on her. We're not trying to drown her out. But she looks great. Comes with a pistol. There was a point where I think they started releasing her without pistols for whatever reason. You know, they don't want to upset anybody. Master assassin without a pistol. It's okay to kill people, just can't use a pistol to do it. Seems to be their thought process at times. I don't understand people, man. So I've had her with her legs in an action pose, and I was just looking at the material here on the butt, stretching it back out so it's not all crinkled, and it will stretch back out. It certainly wants to go back up to the crinkle, and that's fine because I'm gonna put her right back on to that stand after having her out here today. She will go right back out onto that stand. You have size comparison between these two. And here's Age of Ultron Cap. And he's a good Cap also. Speaking of my favorite characters, this is probably one of my favorite Caps. I don't have all the Captain Americas, but what I liked about this one was the magnet on the shield. Some of the shields are so difficult to get onto the body because of the leather straps and whatever else. They pop off as you're trying to put them on. This literally, you can just, it attaches by a magnet, which makes it so easy. They also have this, I forget what it's called. It's a spats. I forget what this is called. Type of a boot here, which is nice because it affords some good ankle pivot. You can really get different situations here to be able to put him into, you know, one of these type poses. So he's very articulate. And so messing around with him, you can get him to stand in this pose once you get his center of gravity figured out. And of course, he comes with two head sculpts, one helmet, one without. But almost always, I want to have his helmet on in the full-on Captain America regalia. Now later on, we start seeing him without a helmet, purposefully, like in Avengers, Infinity War, where he's bearded out in the whole 9 yards. So this is Cap and Black Widow. Now, if I knew enough about all the different suit comparisons, I could tell you more about how this is different than the others, but I don't own all the Caps. Originally, I just thought for an Avengers collection, I only needed one of each. One Captain America, one Black Widow, etc., etc. And it's gone way beyond that. And now I'm like, no, I need all the Caps. I need all the Black Widows. Don't need just one to represent the Avengers. I need all of them. That's my opinion of things as it has come. So let's see if we can have him here. I want to go get this Avengers. It's called an Avengers base. I don't know why, because it's not an Avengers base. It's really the church in Sokovia. Was that the name of the city? That they fought against. Oh, my back. They fought against Ultron Prime. So let me go get that. Actually, I think I'll be bringing in Thor and Quicksilver next. Oh. Now this Thor had a neat feature. And gosh, without a computer over here, I'm not seeing any of your comments. I don't know how many of you are even here. Hell, I may just be talking to myself. So, welcome, guys. Sorry I'm not. Jeez. Sorry I'm not with you in chat. I really miss speaking with you guys. So, know that I'm pained as much as you're probably pained for me not being able to see your comments. There's nothing over here, just a circle. So this is Thor from Age of Ultron. What was neat about this was the altered reality base that came with this. And you could take your cell phone and download the app and then look at Thor on this base, and you would see these Ultron sentries would just be like crowding the base here. It was a really neat little feature. And that's the closest we ever got to Ultron sentries. We have, the busted up one I think that came with, who did he come with? I don't even remember now. A little busted up one which I showed you guys when we were doing the villains a week or so ago. But other than that, they showed us an Ultron sentry and they never released it. This was a really good Thor. It's not my favorite Thor. My favorite Thor would probably have to be the Thor Ragnarok or the in-game Thor or Infinity War Thor. It's the Thor Ragnarok. I don't remember which one it is actually. It's the one that comes with two different arms and an eye patch and the electricity coming off of his body. That's my favorite Thor. This is a really good one. I like they have the seamless elbow, but because of that, I've tried to keep his arms kind of straightened out. This Mjolnir glows, which is neat. You would just click it to turn it on and off. Yeah, and I don't have a battery in it, and it's really neat effect. It glows blue. So of course, this is a plastic one, and Vision has the metal Mjolnir. But it's really neat when it's on with the blue and all that. Let's give you a close up. Chris here. And there's no wire in this cape, so it just hangs. And one of the things that's always so difficult is when you have the flight base, you have so much equipment there, it's going to keep the cape out like this. There really is no way around that if you're using this flight base. So you end up with that effect. But he's a good one. Part of the Age of Ultron Avengers. Let's put him over here for right now. Let me get good old Quicksilver. Well, I tell you, it was sad that they killed him off. I guess it was rights and pre-existing story, and I don't know what the whole story in regards to Quicksilver was. But now that Disney owns Fox and Disney owns the X-Men universe as well now, it'll be interesting to see where to go. Quicksilver's been a major character in the X-Men stories of late. Don't know how many movies he's been in, 3 or 4. And it's a totally different Quicksilver. So this Quicksilver is the twin brother of Scarlet Witch. And I'm guessing in the X-Men, if I remember correctly, Quicksilver is not related to her. So, totally different character imagined. When they came out with this, I was quite surprised they had the shoes. The shoes were popular. People were buying the shoes in real life. But There were supposed to be like some green stripes on them, because I think they were Adidas. I don't remember. And they didn't come with the green stripes on the side. You could, of course, buy you some green tape and put the little stripes on there if you so desire. But you can see the green on the bottom of the shoe. I thought that was pretty cool. So, of course, when I pose them so you can see that on there as well. And this is how I have him posed. And again, it's just unfortunate that through licensing rights, this is all we get. In and out, one and done. And then they killed him in the first movie as well. If you haven't seen Avengers Age of Ultron, I'm sorry to ruin that for you. But, yeah, they off him. And he was like a borderline superhero, I guess you could say. One of the things was the speech that I think it was Hawkeye that had given to Scarlet Witch. You come through that door, you're an Avenger. So he definitely became an Avenger. So his heart was in the right place at the end of the movie. Maybe his heart was in the right place all along. Hard to say. I guess you have to answer that question yourself. But I've been able to pose him, balance him up pretty well. Just as such, I'm not going to get him so quickly posed or balanced in this video. But I just have him leaning up against one of the other characters in the Avengers base. He stands pretty well, just as such, which works. I tried using a figure stand to hold him into this position. I've had my Captain America hold up against Iron Man for many years with a figure stand in this position, but it didn't really work out well for him. So he worked out best just posed as such, and then just slightly leaning against another one of the figures. So I could show you how that would work. Something akin to that. Works good for me. He doesn't move, which is cool. And let me go see if I can get the Avengers base in here with the other two figures. I have to move him out of the way. Oh my God. Black Widow. No. I've got to tame her hair. I've got to learn how to do that. That's all there is to that. This one and Infinity War, they have to be tamed. Is it Infinity War? I think it's Infinity War. The blonde hair has to be tamed. I've seen this really nice video that this collector had made. She'd actually cut the hair and dyed it. The blonde had dyed it properly. Looked amazing. She did an amazing job. You'd reach out to her, have her teach me how to do this. I mean, I need my handheld. I'm so scared to mess with their hair. I don't want to put junk in it and just be looking, jeez. Oh. This is the Avengers base. And as I was saying, you can actually fit 3 of these. They're identical. And make a complete circle of them. comes with the two figure stands, or well, not stands, um, articulated poles. And so I've put Iron Man and Black Scarlet Witch in there. With Scarlett Johansson being Black Widow's actress's name, and Scarlet Witch, so often I'll muscle those two together, and I'll call her Scarlet Witch, and I'll call her Scarlet Witch. So I hope I called her Black Widow, because this is Scarlet Witch. If I didn't, this is Scarlet Witch, and that's Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson is the actress who portrays Natasha or Natalie Romanoff, or whatever her real name is, as Black Widow. I hope that clears it up if I said it incorrectly earlier. I wish my computer was on so I could see what chat is going on. These little fire or whatever element magical casting aura effects, they never really gave you an instruction of how best to put them on. And so I've tried to get them to fit just perfectly and to have them as a pose effect on here. And it comes with a little hand slot there that you can see where you would put the hand at. But nothing really seems to ever really work perfectly. So I try to have this one somehow so it's what's enabling her flight ability. And it has fallen off. And so I'll have to mess with this to get it exactly the way that I want it again. And again, I don't remember exactly how it was in the first place, so I have to finagle with it. I was always just displeased with this and electros, electricity, and any of these little attachments. They don't necessarily seem to go specifically any one way perfectly, the way that you would expect them to. So, Black Widow has this plastic that came underneath her stockings, and I did not remove the plastic from the stockings. I don't know whether you were supposed to or not. I left it in there, and a lot of times the cloth will stain the figure, so it's probably best that that was on there and then I didn't pull it off. But there's definitely a plastic wrap on her legs from Hot Toys for that reason. They've made quite a few Scarlet Witches. There was actually this one and the new Avengers Scarlet Witch as well that Hot Toys had made. But this is the first Scarlet Witch, and again her hair's kind of a little frizzy. And this is the Mark 43, which is the one that we see in the with the Hulkbuster. And I know that I've talked about him before, so give you a close-up look of him here. And the 40 and the 43 are the same suits, just different colors. But the 43 came better than the 42 when you bought them. They sold a second 42 that was kind of called the Shanghai release. It was only available in Shanghai Disney, and it has the same articulation that the 43 has. The butts were different between the two, the butt action. And this is Scarlet Witch here. This little piece comes out for whatever reason. I don't know why they made this separate. I think probably because of it in a skinnier box without it being up. But this was, in a sense itself, a collection piece. this Avengers base, and they gave you these really heavy duty articulated pose stands, and they've actually have come out of the base. So this is a resin cast, and it's supposed to be a little bolt that they tried to cast in there, and the weight of him has actually on occasion ripped this clean out of there, of him hanging from that, the way that I have him hanging in it, and he just totally just ripped it right out. So I've tried to glue it back in there properly to get it to hold him. And if you didn't want to use these, it came with these two little stones you could put over that to hide that. And so how I have them set up is something to this effect, and she stands half on this, and he stands over here, right around here type of a thing, leaning up on, I think, her. I don't remember, but it works pretty good. I'm very pleased that I purchased this. I don't remember how much it was, maybe $100. I have no idea, but it was well worth it. And because, you know, the figure, you already had the figures for it, it was a no-brainer. Unlike the Wakanda throne that Hot Toys sold, that didn't really have a figure that went with it. You know, they try to convince you that you could put T'Challa, or Eric Killmonger on there, but you know, you really want to have the outfit that they gave us is T'Challa's, I don't know, regular Wakandan clothes, and so that was made by a third party. Even though Hot Toys showed us that it was coming out, it never happened. My little Black Widow, she's lost her wig. Her head keeps popping up. God, guys, I miss you. I have nothing to. I mean, I'm talked all out without anything to say to you. Jeez. Come on, you stupid computer. Windows 10, man. I freaking hate it. Literally, by rebooting this, it's just going to punish me. It's not going to allow me to access anything any quicker. I have to go through the whole troubleshooting process in order to get it to act right. I don't have time to do that this morning. This is insane. You know what I ought to do? I think I'll just take you to the other room. Get on that computer in there so we can discuss things, because this computer's not acting right. So let's go to the other room. Don't mind, do you? I can see what the heck has been happening in chat. That computer only takes a couple of seconds to turn on. Windows 7. Powerhouse. Bear with me. We will be here in a few moments. I built this computer about 4 years ago, I think. Actually upgraded it from a computer I bought in 2009. love my coffee. I cannot stand the taste of regular coffee. It tastes like absolute dirt. Literally, you take some dirt, grab a spoon, put it in your mouth. That's what coffee tastes like to me. I have to put some half and half and some flavored Torani sugar-free syrup in there to make it enjoyable. All right, here we go. Good morning, guys. Afternoon, good evening, whatever the case is. And now we got some chat. Good morning, Toy Mafia. Noble, how you doing, man? Save on my song. There's my villains collector. I know you're happy to see that Loki. I bet you. Do you have that Loki, by the way? I'm curious. Do you have that Loki? I bet you do. You can tell me if it is. Black white hair looks like she had a night with Robert, just a fan. Happy Saturday. That is the Hot Toys Hulk. It certainly is, Robert. It certainly is. And I don't remember how much the base was. I think it was like $100, if I remember correctly. Oh my God. I love my bird, but he is, when he decides he wants to say something, he will just go off. Sometimes I'm really fortunate to hear a beautiful song that he sings, and no two songs sound exactly alike. He'll go off on a creating a melody that is just so beautiful, and it's unlike any other song I've ever heard him sing. No two songs I've ever heard him sing the same. They're unique each time, but sometimes he gets into his car alarm mode, and that's what I call that. And I swear to God, he's going to have a heart attack and die one of these days. Because I'm like, how are you even breathing in between each of those chirps? It's just bah, 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 bah. And it's just, oh my goodness. I have two Crazy Toys Hulks. They're both the Avengers Hulks with the brown pants. One is larger than 1/6 scale, so I'm assuming he's probably like 1/5 scale. And one's a little shorter, so I'm assuming he's like probably 1/7 scale. I have the 1/5 scale on my collection with the Avengers. He's more green than and less articulated than the Hot Toys Hulk is, and they're not interchangeable. You can't take the body off of it and put the head on. First off, they're the wrong scale, or the torso. You can't put the torso on, which really was my intention was when buying that. And of course, the other one is smaller, and you can't. They're not swappable with the Hot Toys one, and they were dirt cheap. I think the 1/5 one was $70 or $80, and I think the 1/7 one was like $55 or something. Really good price for that, and they're not bad for the price compared to the Hot Toys one, which is pushing $400. You can't go wrong there. Like I said, the color's a little off on it, but for the price, you can't go wrong in that regards. If you just want a Hulk for your collection, yeah, I can't disagree with the Crazy Toys, except his color's a little off. And if you are capable of fixing that, well, then that's an even more bonus for you in that direction. And I bought that Hot Toys Hulk back 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it first came out. I did not get the Avengers Hulk from Hot Toys. I have the Bruce Banner, because you could buy either Bruce, or you could buy the Hulk, or you could buy Bruce and the Hulk. And I bought Bruce because the Hulk wasn't available, and so that's why I ended up buying the Crazy Toys. But I've always wanted an Avengers Hulk, and we'll probably get him one of these days as well. Oh, you made a Phicen Bane? Or is there a Bane that Phicen made? Yeah. Oh man, Loki. Sheesh. When I seen that pop on Thursday, I was like, oh, this is beautiful. This is absolutely amazing. And I'll show you what I'm talking about on the. Well, here, let's see. I might be able to do this. Let's do something here real quick. See if I can pull up both of these images here, and I can show you what I'm talking about on Loki. Because essentially, he's the Avengers Loki, because they've gone back into time to take the Infinity Stone, and that's where we see Loki actually steal the Tesseract, right? I love that scene. Pull my pin to give you a mild cardio infusion, something to that effect. I forget what he actually called it. Gave him a heart attack, more or less. So let's see, we'll use which image? This one will work. And let's get the new one here, and I'll turn the camera around so you can see what I'm looking at. Find the image here that works of the new Loki. And with a new MMS number, I'm assuming then that it is not just going to be a recast. It's actually going to be, you know, a new figure. Let me just get a good example of what I'm talking about on this chest area where the green and the black meet up. Other than that, he looks pretty dead on. I think the color is a little off in the two shades of green as well, but that could just be the photographs. By the time the figure actually comes, it could be identical in color. And I don't have the original Loki to be able to tell you what is actually going to... I can't compare this image to the real one. Maybe one of you guys can. Maybe Savon can. Let me find this. 1 second. Looking for an image of the new Loki. That this one might work. Okay. So you see here where it connects at. It's pretty wide in that area for where the green comes into connection with the black of the suit. And on this one, that area is very narrow. And that's really the only difference I've seen between the two. The green looks like it might be a little different between them also. But other than that, if you didn't get this Loki, if you didn't get this Loki when he came out, now you have the opportunity to get him there. And there's the accessories for the first one. Click through here to get to the accessories on the new one. So we have a different figure base, but other than that, I think we even have the same amount of hands. No, we get more hands. There's 9 hands versus 7 hands. Same staffs, same cufflinks, same mask piece, same helmet, but there's 9 hands here compared to 7 hands here. So we got more hands, different figure base, obviously. But that is that. What original recipe Avenger would you like to see be made next? Now, I don't know what you mean original recipe Avenger. Like Loki reissue, but the head looks off a bit. Now, the head that I noticed looks way off is the last Loki that we got. You take his helmet off, and it doesn't look much like Tom Hiddleston at all. In my opinion, you really have to keep the helmet on to make it look like him. Take the helmet off, there's something very wrong in that regards. Compared to the first Avengers Loki, because I bought that head sculpt to put it onto the suit to recreate the Berlin scene, and that's really one of my favorite scenes when Loki's coming out and he's like, kneel, and everybody kneels, and the one guy stands up and he goes, last time our man stood above, or he's like, I'm not going to kneel for you or something. I forget what he said, and Loki's like, pay attention to the elders because he's about to teach you a lesson. And Loki was going to, I don't know, kill him or what he's going to do. Definitely hit him with a blast from his staff, and that's when Captain America shows up and deflects the blast with his shield. And he's like, last time I was in Berlin and in Germany, and somebody was standing above everyone else, we didn't see eye to eye, or we didn't agree, or something. I forget what it was. It's pretty good little scene. And that's when Iron Man comes in and calls him, what do you call him, deer hunter or something, reindeer games. It was going on reindeer games, something to that effect. Pretty neat little scene. I really like that. And we could see Mark 6 totally lit up and everything. And I've always enjoyed that. It'd be a nice little recreation scene with the new Mark 6 with all the blue lights on him and Captain America standing there and then of course Loki. So it's a great scene to recreate, and it's nice to have this Loki now to do that. $700. I know. I'm telling you, man. $800. That's how much Loki's been selling for at Avengers Loki forever. The Mezco Christopher Reeve Superman head sculpts, one normal and one looking at Lois in the shower head sculpt. I had not seen those, Robert. I'm curious. Now you've piqued my interest, and I want to check that out. Yeah, I have a feeling that the price is going to drop on the Avengers Lokis now. Um, so I guess it gets down to the point of, if you don't want to wait until Q3 2021 to buy a Loki, you can probably find one now for a lot less than the $800 that he's been selling for the last handful of years. And he's a good looking Loki. I really so badly wanted to buy him. And of course, when supply and demand, when somebody has it and you can't get it, you got to pay the price that they want to sell it for. So now that the new one's coming out, and it looks like it's going to be a great rendition of that exact figure, there's going to be a problem there. You think the tailoring better? Quiver from the first Hawkeye. Which one was the first Hawkeye? I don't think I had the first Hawkeye either. There you go. If you don't like the head, that's a good idea. If you can find the original head. Dark World Loki and Switch Heads. How is the Dark World Loki? That one is readily available at a reasonable price on eBay all day long. You can find Dark World Lokis everywhere at a reasonable price, and I don't know why. I've never purchased one. Save on, for instance, you're the Villains collector. I'm wondering if you have a Dark World Loki. And the Tesseract. You think the Tesseract's different too? I don't think necessarily the head sculpts are going downhill. I think they're actually getting better over time, but I really was disappointed with that Loki head sculpt on this last one. Only when you take the helmet off. You leave the helmet on, it looks dead on. And so I don't know where that came about in the production of him. And it might just be me looking at it. It kind of reminds me of when the T'Challa figure came out from the first Black Panther movie from Captain America Civil War. I'm literally looking at his legs, the length of his legs, and I'm like, something's wrong here. He just looks out of proportion. Now, Chadwick Boseman may be properly proportioned in that manner. That may be his proportion. But in the second figure, the second T'Challa that came out that has the UV lighting on him, they stretched his legs out to a proper aesthetic appearance of looking at him. Your mind says, okay, that's the proper proportion of a human being, and he looks right. So I don't know which one is actually more true to life in regards to how Chadwick Boseman is built, whether or not the first one is actually a more accurate recreation of him, or the second one is in that regards. It's hard to say. So then it gets down to looking at Tom Hiddleston. What my mind will create of what I think he should look like. And when I look at him in a sculpture, sometimes I may be off in what my mind has recreated versus what he really is. So I don't know whether the latest release of Loki is more accurate or not. Maybe my mind has just created an image of Tom Hiddleston that really isn't him. You know what I mean? And I think they're trying. Some of the painters are improving hugely. I mean, when you think of like the original Tony Stark head sculpts from the first Iron Man, first 7 suits, compared to the head sculpts of Tony now, oh my God, huge difference, huge difference. And like I've commented before about Pepper Potts, I really have a problem with the Pepper Potts that came out with the Mark 9, or you could buy Pepper by herself. Really doesn't look like Gwyneth Paltrow. It almost looks like just a right off the shelf figure. And where nowadays you'll get a head sculpt and you look at it and you're like, no, that's dead on Gal Gadot, or yeah, that's definitely Scarlett Johansson, no question about it. But no, I don't think the Pepper Potts really looks like Gwyneth Paltrow, truthfully. I really want them to re-release or release an updated Pepper Potts. I want a 2025 Pepper Potts. I want a mature Pepper Potts. I want a today Pepper Potts, more or less, an Avengers Endgame. That's the Pepper I really wanted to see. And I don't just want a helmeted version. I mean, I want the hair and the whole 9 yards. And I have faith in the head sculpts. I personally do. Oh, man. It looks like Ant-Man's going to be coming out soon. I've seen some images there on the Hot Toys China site where they've done some photographs with the new Ant-Man figure, but nothing on the Wasp yet. So that one's obviously coming. Big bendy horns, and the figure looks good. A lot of people buy and then add a horn helmet to it. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Darkwood Loki has almost the same outfit. Can't tell the difference. I bought the Loki helmet from a bootlegger and finally bought First Avenger Loki head. Ah. And I've said before, I have the First Avenger Loki head on my Loki in his suit. I think just like Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, Loki's face is a bit too wide, but I do not care for it. He looked great with the helmet. So then I guess if you take the helmet off, because that's my complaint, that his face looks too narrow. So maybe with the helmet off is the proper proportion for his face. Maybe I'm the one that's wrong again, which falls back under my own what I've recreated in my mind of what Tom Hiddleston looks like. If you're saying his head looks a little too wide, maybe the most recent one is the correct size for him. That'd be interesting. Let me see what the Spider Gwen is. There was 2 Spider Gwens that were made, actually 3 when you count the Hot Toys one, and I ordered the one, though I didn't much care for her head. The second one had a better head, but cannot stand the outfit. But I like the feet on the second. Pardon me, on the second one. Little ballerina slippers, because they're like cloth, whereas the first one they're plastic. And then of course I ordered the Hot Toys Spider Gwen, but she won't be here for another year. We'll find. I'll tell you who's making the one that's coming. Bullethead. So it's the Bullethead Spider Gwen that I was just told that has been out, and it's called the Miss Stacy. If they're still available, I'm really impressed with this. She doesn't have interchangeable eyes on the helmet; it's just one set of eyes. Whereas I think the Hot Toys one has. So whichever one comes next, be it my War Machine Punisher or Spider-Gwen will be the next one that gets opened. So hopefully it will be the next 2 weeks. So the Hot Toys Spider-Gwen comes with interchangeable eyes. Let's get her up here. And the bullet head does not. But of course, the Hot Toys one won't be here for another year. Whereas the bullet head one will be here probably within the next week. Here we go. And like I said, I really wasn't pleased with this head sculpt on the bullet head one. I'm not disappointed with it like, oh my god, it's ugly type of a thing. But we'll see what she ends up actually looking like when she arrives. Turn this around again. So of course on the left is the bullet head, the one that's coming, and on the right is the Hot Toys one, which will be here in, like I said, about a year. And everything looks cool on this one, and it looks cool on this one. Just wasn't a fan of this head sculpt here. And like I said, she doesn't have interchangeable eyes, where this one does come with the interchangeable eyes right there. So I don't know if I'll be keeping with this head sculpt or going with this head sculpt. Definitely be going with a set of these eyes. Definitely she'll be having the hood up on one of them. Hood's gonna be down on another. You know, got the backpack over here. All the regular spider webbings on this one, and just a couple up here over here. But I'm excited about this. This one has a broken toe, so you can pose her into the different poses easier. See if I can find a good, here's a good picture. There you can see the broken toe. And like I said, I wasn't really pleased with that. The Young Rich Toys, who makes the other Spider-Gwen, has a cloth ballet slipper. And I like that better than this, but this one doesn't have the broken toe. Find an image here for us. The Hot Toys version. One of these I should be able to zoom in on pretty good. Look at that head sculpt. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? Doesn't it look great? Really like that. JC Hong's team put that together. Let's find this good. Here we go. Which one of these is the higher quality one? I think this one will work. So here you can see it's one piece. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other. You know, truthfully, it's not going to make that big of a difference in all actuality, I guess. So we'll see next week when this comes. Shorty would like to see the rest of these. I'd love to see the Spider Noir. I'd love to see Penny, wasn't that her name? Of course, we have Spider-Ham coming with the Spider-Gwen. And Peter B. Parker have got Young Rich Toys coming with those sooner or later, one day, hopefully. That would be great to have that right there. Wouldn't that be great to have that? Jeez. I've never heard of Collector's Town. No, I've made my purchases through Sideshow Collectibles, of course, Big Bad Toy Store, 1/6 Kit and 1/6 Outfitters are who I've bought from. I tried to buy from the Falcons hangar at one point, and I think they told me that they wouldn't ship to me because it wasn't in the United States, and I don't think that they were allowed to ship Sideshow or Hot Toys toys or something. I think that's what they were. I was told. I don't remember. I think they're in. Where are they at? Singapore, I think is where they were. Heck, I don't remember. But there's lots of different companies out there that are selling these. If you're in Europe, there's another distributor out there. Good, the bad, and the robot or something like that. Don't remember. But no, I never heard of Collector's Town. I've bought from Phicen directly, by the way. About 5 years ago, I bought directly from Phicen. Had no problems with that. It was a little difficult to order from them. Their website was not friendly, and but I've been able to order directly from Phicen. The Mark 7 diecast is expensive, $400. But boy, what a piece! Holy smokes! The regular Mark 7s are still a great piece. I'm not regretting owning any of those Mark 7s, but the Mark 7 diecast is reworked, reimagined, rescaled, and so much better. So much better. It really is. Oh, I ordered a Titan Series Iron Man, which is like the little cheap $10 Iron Man you can pick up at like Walgreens, for instance, sells them. And because one of you had shown me that you've used that figure to put the pod on, the Mark 7 pod. So it's fully is my intention to do the same thing that you had done as well, of chopping it up and putting the pieces of the pod on. So I get my Mark 7 back. I bought two Mark 7s specifically because if you want to display the pod, you have to use a full-on Mark 7 figure. And so here you are, you've dropped 400 and something dollars on a Mark 7 diecast, and you can't even display them as the Mark 7 because you're using them as a pod. So now I'm going to literally take, my intention is, just as one of you had done, I forget which one of you had shown me these pictures that you'd done, did a great job of it, taking the pieces of the Mark 7 pod and put it onto the Titan and made it look really nice. This is what I'm talking about, this pod here. Love this pod. It's great. But when you have to use an entire Mark 7 figure for it, oh, it's a crying shame. Literally, I don't understand why they didn't just give us just another one of these little bodies for this. I have to be careful handling him because the little pieces will just start popping off. They're just in little slots and grooves and such. So, but this is a full-on Mark 7 torso. Yep, see, there we go. That you just attach the pieces to. And it's a crying shame, again, to use a full Mark 7 for this. And I'm certainly not going to bust up one of my plastic Mark 7s to do this to it. Matter of fact, I don't even know if I even own a red Mark 7. I have the black ones, the white ones. I think I have a red one. Yeah, I have one. I have one red Mark 7, and I'm certainly not going to bust that up to turn him into a pod. So I bought two of these. But when that Titan comes in, I'm for fact going to do the exact same thing that one of you had showed me, and put these pieces that are in this to turn this Mark 7 diecast into this pod. I'm going to do that to that Titan. Certainly am. That's going to be wonderful to then have my Mark 7 back. So I'm looking forward to that. Because I have the other one. I had the Mark 7 diecast up. But, geez, when you drop 400 and something dollars on it, it's nice to be able to display him, right? As a Mark 7 in all of his grandeur. These little pieces right here just pop clean off. And they just go into a little bitty slot here. So you have to be careful handling him Now, the Mark III diecast, I would like to see them remake that one also. I think he's out of scale in comparison to the new figures that they're doing, but I don't know whether or not they'll ever re-release a Mark III diecast, especially because the Mark II took so long to come out, and it's really the same piece, only not because of all the little rivet um, marks on him. Doing good in the Doctor Who, sounds like. 1/6 kit. Him and I had a disagreement one time, and I was the one that was in the wrong. And But I've not had any problem with him ever since. The nicest thing I like about 1/6 kit is the price that he advertises is the price that you pay, including shipping and handling. So if he says he's selling a figure for $250 or whatever, it's $250. It's not $250 plus some unimagined shipping and handling fee of being 30, 40, 50, God knows dollars. What if it's $250? It's $250, so you can count on that. And he ships pretty quickly, and he ships the package as well. So, but I did have a problem with him once, and I was the one that was in the wrong. I also had a problem with 1/6 Outfitter one time, and I don't think I was in the wrong in that instance. But we've seen eye to eye since then, and I continue to order from him. But you know how it is. You can't always get along with everybody. You know, that's why there's Walmart and Target. They both sell the same stuff, more or less. Some people like shopping at Walmart. Some people like shopping at Target. Some people don't like shopping in either one of those places, and they go to their own stores. Oh, man. I never thought that anybody would ever make a Juggernaut. But I have that on pre-order. I hope he comes to fruition. I also ordered the Quicksilver because it's such a unique figure. And I don't have any X-Men that I can think of, unless you count Deadpool. I think he's my only X-Men figure that I have. And he's really not an X-Men, but he is. But he's not. But he is. But he's not. But he is. But he's not. So I've got Quicksilver, which really isn't an X-Men figure either, because he's more of a Fantastic Four figure, isn't he? But I couldn't believe how that looked, and if it comes to fruition. A lot of times these third-party manufacturers will make a promise of a figure. Hell, Hot Toys makes a promise of a figure and it never shows up. See, I buy directly from 1/6 on his website. I've never bought from him on eBay. But eBay's a whole nother mess. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, Robert. Uh, like I said, I've only had one problem, and I was the one that was incorrect. And I just buy directly from his website. I've never bought off of eBay. eBay, you have buyer protection, at least in that regard. I When I buy all my figures, I pay through PayPal, so I've got that buyer protection. But I've not had any problems. Matter of fact, he was who I actually had a customer service relation issue with him that he did help me on. He's who I bought all of my toys box Hall of Armor pieces from, the acrylic pieces that the Mark 8 through 41 would be in. And of course, there is no Mark 8. But when he shipped those, and I bought, I think, 10 of them, and when they shipped them to me, two of them were, maybe three of them were just totally busted up, just totally just destroyed, and the acrylic pieces were just banged on them by the freight company that shipped them out. They just throw them to the ground and just busted them, and it wasn't his fault because he shipped them in the packages that they were shipped to him in. It was just that when they put them into the boxes, they put the rounded piece of acrylic or lucite or plexiglass or whatever you want to call it, where it rounds around to the front, right on the bottom of this piece. So of course, when UPS or FedEx or EMS or whoever it was threw the doggone things on the ground, it broke every one of those. And of the 10 of them, I think 3 or 4 of them were just smashed on those. And I contacted him, and he asked me to send him pictures, and I sent him the pictures, and he mailed them right out to me. 3 or 4 brand new ones. Didn't cost me a penny. I didn't have to send the old ones back. Well, they were junk, and he mailed them right out to me. I didn't have any problems at all. So I guess people are people, and humans are humans, and you get up on the wrong side of the bed one time, and and we don't always see eye to eye on everybody. He totally took care of me in that instance, totally. And I don't get a kickback from him. I don't get a discount. I don't get nothing. So I pay the same price that you pay. So it doesn't benefit me at all to push him. I'm just explaining my experience, and I understand your experience. And I'm sorry that that happened, but like I said, everybody has somebody that they like purchasing from or that they might have had problems with, and I understand that. I'm sorry that you had that. I've not had any lasting problems with him. And like I said, the one problem I did have, I was the one that was mistaken. And the version by using the Titan figure, is there a video for this? No, I've just a friend of mine sent me pictures. One of you guys sent pictures. I don't remember who it was. Let me find that. I've got that in here someplace, and I'll show you those. Pretty sure I saved them. Yeah, here we are. And I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was that had shown me that they had done this. So I'll show you his photos that I saved. Oh, there he goes. He's got his pictures. He's got his .com on there. So if that's him, I don't know if that's him or that's just a piece of cardboard he had behind there. But so this is the Titan that he used. I don't remember if that's the one that I bought. It may have been. There's several of them, and I chose one over the others as to which I thought would be the best one. You see, painted it red, cut up the chest here, in order to be able to put the pod on there, and drilled some holes in the thighs there. And there's the back of it, with a couple holes in the back that he put on it. And here's all the pieces that he's going to be using in that from the Mark 7 diecast. And here you can see he's started putting them together. And so I'm going to brave that same thing. And I think it looks pretty good. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to recreate that satin paint. And as you see, he has two different paint colors. The satin that the Hot Toys comes from, and the paint color that he chose for his pod. But it's going to free up my Mark 7 diecast, which is the real plan. There you can see there's the Titan, and here's the Mark 7 pieces right there. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm going to give that a shot and see how that turns out. Hopefully well. One of the things that he said was that you're not going to damage your Hot Toys pieces, and the Titan costs $10. So buy a few of them if you need it, right? Oh my God, you're so right, man. Poor Walmart. They've really just treated their staff so poorly that they really are not pleased there. Even the ones that tell you that they're happy, come on now. They're not out there driving a brand new Lamborghini. You know, they work their butts off for the man and get nowhere. So sorry. Well, Robert, I can tell you this: he's definitely lost your business. You know what I mean? And you sound like a collector like myself, who owns a lot of figures, and so he's definitely lost your loyalty. And I'm sorry to hear that. And I definitely can understand, you know, your anger and frustration, what you've gone through, totally. And I wish that wasn't the case. And I don't know him. I have no idea who. I have no idea. I couldn't pick him out in the crowd. I've never seen a picture of him. I've never talked to him directly or anything. So, you know, just through email conversations. So I'm sorry that you had a problem. But I am not going to pull a John Deek and start banning people. Like he's banned Toys Wonderland. You cannot mention Toys Wonderland. You can't show a figure you ever bought from Toys Wonderland or anything on One Six Society or any site that John D manages. And he's in there with Sideshow. Sideshow sponsors him, and so he has a lot of weight and pull on that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ban anybody. I've bought from Toys Wonderland in the past. Another one that I buy from. They're definitely not one of the first people I search for, but they're a reseller, and they sell the pieces that you can't necessarily get everywhere as well. They're not a Hot Toys distributor. I've bought stuff off of Facebook from collectors and have been totally ripped off. So keep that in mind. And thank God for eBay and PayPal is where I bought it from. One of the things I've said before is I've never gotten a figure for free, and then I have to recant and say, well, that's not true. I did get one for free because I had ordered online. It was the Mark 6 Avengers figure, and I think it was selling for $500, and I bought it off of eBay. And this was the special edition one, and I was very pleased to get it, or whatever one it was. I don't remember. It was Mark 6 or a Mark 4 or something. I don't remember which one it was that I was actually paying for. And I won the bid and paid the guy the money, and he showed the pictures of what it was he was supposed to be getting, and it says in the description what I was supposed to be getting, and the price was the price of what it was I was supposed to be paying for. I paid for it, and what he shipped me was the Mark 7 Stealth. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And he's like, it's what you paid for. And I'm like, you better check again, because this guy is selling. I already had one of those. I bought one. I certainly didn't need another one. And I said, this guy's selling it for $200. I just paid you $500. I certainly didn't pay you $500 for Mark 7 Stealth. And he's like, nah, that's what you paid for. And I said, no worries. Called up eBay, called up PayPal. They looked at the listing. They seen exactly what it was. I showed them the pictures of what he had shipped. I showed him all the packaging and everything. I showed him the emails that he'd been corresponding with me through eBay on in regards to that. eBay contacted him, and eBay said, pay for the shipping for the piece to come back from me to you, and they will make it good. He told me he wasn't going to pay for the shipping. He said, I'm not paying. You ship it back to me, and I'll refund your money. I said, I'm not shipping it back to you. I've already paid you $500 in the first place for this figure, which I didn't even get. You sent me the wrong figure. I'll be happy to send it back to you, but I'm not putting out any more money for this. You made the mistake. You're the one that's trying to get over on me. You send me the whatever, $20, $30, whatever it costs to ship, and it'll be straight. He argued with me. eBay was the one that told him that, or PayPal, one or the other, told him, you have to pay for the shipping, dude. You made the mistake. He wouldn't do it. So they gave him, like, I don't know what it was, 7 days or 10 days or something for him to take care of it. And he didn't. He totally didn't. So eBay totally refunded my money. Every single penny, everything, right out of his account, and gave it back to me. And I said, now what am I supposed to do with the figure? Am I supposed to send this to them? And they said, you do whatever you want with it. He's the one that's being unreasonable, and he's the one that won't pay for your shipping back. So because he wouldn't come off of $20 or $30 or whatever, it cost him $500, or essentially $200 and something, or whatever that figure cost back then, right out of his pocket. And I kind of felt sorry for him. He started contacting me afterwards saying, dude, send me the figure. You know what's right. You got the money back, blah, blah, blah. And still, I would be out $30 or $40 or whatever the shipping is to send him back that figure. And I would send him the figure. I'd have my money that I originally started off with, minus $30, $40. Why the hell am I going to do that? Why am I going to send him back the figure and be out $40 and not have a figure? So I'm like, no, I'm not. I said, give me the shipping money as you were instructed, and I will. He never did. He never did. So that's my only free figure. And that was through making a purchase through eBay, PayPal. And that's where that came from. And that was buying something from a regular collector. So you will find situations like that. When I bought my first gantry, not all the lights light up on it. I bought that off of Facebook or eBay. I don't remember where that was. And I'm like, I contacted the dude. I'm like, dude, the lights don't light up. And he goes, they did up when I sent them to you. They don't light up now. And he goes, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, really? I bought a Mark 4 or Mark 6. I don't remember which one it was. It doesn't include all the missiles on the arms. in the images that were posted on eBay, they're not there. He literally said, dude, I gave you full disclosure. No, you didn't. You didn't list that in the description saying the missiles on the left arm are gone. He's like, well, just buy them. What would they cost? $20? Oh gosh, darn things cost me $75 to replace those. I did find them on eBay, just them by themselves, and I bought those. Those are $75. So that increased the price of what I paid for the figure. And I paid for the figure what they sold for on all the other ones. So there's always people out there that are out to mess you over, man. There's no doubt about it. It's going to happen everywhere you go. So it's a crying shame that it's the nature of the beast of the hobby that we're in. It's really, it's piss poor, to tell you the truth. It really is. Let's see where we at. Armor Thanos, battle damage, Thanos, Nebula, where we at? Loki Mysterio, the next 2 years, they better release Taskmaster. Oh man, I'll be so happy to be able to finally see that movie. It's supposed to be out, what, April or something like that, the Black Widow movie? Won't be coming out until October or November. I noticed that my movie theaters are opening up. I think July 3rd is the first day that AMC is going to be open here in the area, and they're showing a lot of older movies. Blade Runner, the final cut will be there. So to be the original Blade Runner, only the final cut version of it. And Jaws is out in the theaters, and Indiana Jones is going to be out in the theaters, to name a few. I don't remember all the movies that they were showing that are going to be available. And it's only going to be $5 to go see a movie. And they're still doing the social distancing and all that. And I'm like, well, thinking if they're scheduling the movies show times to not have a lot of people standing around the lobbies, and they're only allowing every like third seat or something like that to be sold, what are they going to do? Start selling seats for $50 a pop in order to go to a movie to stay in business? I hope that isn't the case. Buster Red Nail Polish, I think that's Iron Man color. Actually, I'll show you the paint that is one of the Iron Man colors. Oh, God. So this Mark 7 has a satin finish on it, but if you happen to have a Mark 4 or 6, or I think even the Mark 5 with the pink panty issue, this is what you want right here. This TS74 by Tamiya, it's a gloss red, and all you have to do is spray paint this over the existing paint on your pink panties. You spray this on there, and it's going to give you right back to that exact same Hot Toys color that you need for those figures. Now, this isn't going to match this because this is a matte or a satin finish compared to the gloss. But I imagine there's a matte or a satin out there that'll be close to it. But this is definitely the color that you want if you're fixing your pink panties right here. And you just spray it right over the existing ones. So you take the panties off. They're glued on underneath. So take off his legs, pop them off, paint them, glue them back up. Same thing with the hands, and that'll fix that right there. There are videos to paint the Iron Man pink panties. The YouTuber tells the type of paint. I was thinking of using that. There you go. Convention is a bit cheaper. Buying used figures, fix it up. I could buy an Iron Man midsection and just get arms and legs later, etc., etc. Yeah, but not the die cast. Like I said, I have a hard time beating up a plastic Mark 7 because they're still a great figure. They really are. And I'm certainly not going to cut up my Mark 7, but I think that Titan one will work well. And the one I ordered is a red one, not a silver one like he had. Yeah, no, Robert, I feel your pain, man. Trust me, I do, man. I understand, and like I said, you're obviously a collector like me. I imagine you have a nice collection, and he's lost out on your money, and I'm sorry to hear that. Thankfully, though, there's lots of different companies out there to buy from, and like I said, does make a difference whether you buy from 1/6 kid or not. I don't get a kickback. He's not a friend of mine. You know, me advertising for him doesn't do any benefit for me whatsoever. So your advice is good advice, and it's like I said with any company. So PayPal is good because you have buyer protection through PayPal. What Ghost have? What bootleg was it that you bought? Yeah, go to your hey Robert, go to your local theater website, and they'll tell you what's playing. Like I said, they sent me an email because I paid $10 a month or whatever for the program to get a free movie or something. I don't remember what the whole thing is that I'm paying for. So when they shut down the theaters, I'm still paying that $10. It's just building up credits, so they're letting me know, hey, the movies are open again. And then I went to the website to see what it was, and a lot of movies, and they're all old school movies that they're coming out with first. So that very first day, July 3rd, at this theater is opening up. They're old school movies, certainly are. I think Harry Potter was one of them. I mean, it's not like with Netflix and Hulu and whatever else you can see these movies on your at your house, probably for a subscription fee you're already paying for. But in my opinion, I really want to go see the Blade Runner because, I mean, you're at the big screen again, which is the full immersion effect that you really can't get at house. I have a nice big TV screen. I got a 70-inch TV in the other room, but it's still not the same as the theater experience. You know what I mean? Yeah, you added the string to your do-yourself playlist. There you go. Thanks. Sure, you sure can use one. You can definitely use a plastic Mark 7 Hot Toys to do that. But gosh, what are they, $200 or more for the plastic Mark 7? You definitely can. You certainly can. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to bust up a Mark 7 plastic one. I mean, $10 for a Titan toy. How can you go wrong? You buy three of them until you get it the way you exactly want. You're still way ahead of the game. But you certainly could use a plastic one. You sure could. You'd have to bust them up because the feet get shoved up into the legs, and you've got to attach them onto the different places. Remember, the two figures aren't designed the same. They're not the same scale. The plastic Mark 7 and the diecast Mark 7. They're totally different figures. Ah, you're not getting the Punisher War Machine armor now? Oh, man. I passed on the Neon War Machine. I got the two Neons of 4 and the 6 and decided to pass on the Neon War Machine. The price is just too much. Wasn't he $400? But I bet he looks good. And because I had the 4 and the 6, he would look good with those other two. You know, what, blue, orange, and yellow? I think he was the yellow one. Or he's orange. He's the orange one, right? I think the yellow one is Mark 4, and the blue one's the Mark 6. Hell, I can't remember. I'm wondering the same thing. How did Punisher get War Machine's armor? It's from a video game, so I don't know if there's any story to it or not. But he's a VGM instead of an MMS, video game masterpiece. CBS Sci-Fi, welcome to the channel. For under 500 pounds. What is that, like $700 in the United States? And so brand new, he was $450. $430, I think. We have to pay shipping and tax, etc., etc. And it being like, let's see, what did I pay for him? I'll tell you exactly what I paid for him. My Mark 7 diecast. 1 second. Mark 7 diecast. So I had a $30 coupon on him. So After the coupon, he was $438.70. So without the coupon, he was $468.70. $432.99 was what he sold for originally in United States dollars. So what is that in British pounds? Like 350 pounds or something, right? 325 pounds. I know dollars are more dollars equals a pound because the pound is stronger than the dollar, I guess. Is that how that works? So 500 pounds, that's still like $700. Am I going to fix the other PC? That PC, I bought it as a Windows 8, and that was before 8.1. And so the first fix was to upgrade it into the 8.1. The second fix was to add the fix to the 8.1. And then I quit using doggone things. I threw it in the corner. I was like, I can't believe I wasted whatever it was, $300. It was just dirt cheap. I've never paid a lot of money for a laptop, truthfully. Whereas this, my computer in here, it cost me $1,700 to buy the pieces to build it. On top of the, I think, $700 I paid for it back in 2009. So it's a $25,000 or $3,000 computer in here. But yeah, it will fix itself. Windows 10, as much as I hate Windows 10, it does have some self-repair abilities to it. But it'll punish you. It will punish you if you don't follow what it wants to do. You'll be punished. Like Windows 7, you can totally control the computer. You can take over the computer and you can control how much. I mean, you still have authority over the computer. Windows 8, they took that away. Actually, the last time we really had any real control over the computer was Windows 3. With Windows 95, you started losing system information. You started losing access information to the BIOS and the basic operating system, and they kind of made their own operating system with Windows 95, and they've all kind of been Windows 95 based. Even the Windows XP, which is a good solid platform, when they came out with Windows Vistas, when they started taking away all the user account control and the ability to actually get in there and control things individually, Windows 7 gave some of that back to kind of give you a Windows XP experience. Windows XP is actually more able to control your computer than you do in Windows 7, but you have more control in Windows 7 than you did in Windows Vista. Then with Windows 8, they totally took all that control away. And Windows 10, you got to do what the computer wants you to do in Windows 10 or you're going to be in trouble. So because that started off as a Windows 8 and it was a bad operating system in the first place, I just threw Windows 10 on it hoping to fix it. And it did fix a lot of things, but obviously, as you can see today, the doggone thing wouldn't even start up, and it had been spinning like that for an hour. Around 6 o'clock is when I turned it on, and 7 o'clock still trying to turn on. So, yeah, I constantly tell myself I'm just gonna buy another laptop. I've never built a laptop. I don't even know if it's possible for a standard just home person to be able to build a laptop. I don't know if that's even something that you can even really even do. So I just buy the laptops for their purpose. But if I'm on with a home system, I'd totally build it. Totally. Future figure pickups, yes. I have the Netflix, or no, the video game series War Machine Punisher that has been paid for and will be shipped out soon. And the Spider Gwens from Bullet Head. So I got the Bullet Head Spider Gwens coming from 1/6 Kit and the War Machine Punisher coming from Big Bad Toy Store. The Mark 7? Yeah, that's a great one. Commando or Conan Arnold, that'd be great. Austin Crafton, welcome to the channel. How you doing, man? Still got 95 Windows 90. What? You're running Windows 95? What are you running that on? I seen this guy that had loaded Windows 95 on his like Apple iWatch or something. To our hourglass thingy. You know what was? I remember when Windows 95 was coming out. I was building computers back then, as well. And I remember a client asked me. She said, "Which version Windows should I buy?" Because you could buy either Windows 3. Or Windows 95 back then. Just like when they did Windows 7, you can either buy Windows Vista computer, you can buy Windows 7 computer. But now, like when the new ones come out, you can't get the old ones. You're on to the new one. So when Windows 95 came out,
she asked me, she says, which is better, Windows 95 or Windows 3 point? And I said, what I like about Windows 95 is what I hate about Windows 95. In the old Windows 3 point, only one Windows program, we call them programs back then, we didn't call them applications, we didn't call them apps. We could only run one program at a time. If you're running Excel, that's the only thing that's running. You can't run any other program at the same time. You couldn't have Excel open and Word open, and there was no Google, but you couldn't have an internet browser open. You couldn't have all those running at the same time, one at a time. Beautiful thing about that was nobody was getting into your computer without your knowledge, because no one could be running in the background. Only one program could be running at a time. You totally had full control over your computer. Windows 95 was the first one that allowed multiple programs to be running at the same time. And so that was my answer to it. What I love about Windows 95 is what I hate about Windows 95. Because now you could be running something and someone could be getting in there and running something in the background you didn't have any knowledge of. Now we've got, gosh, I don't even know how many programs are running at once. For instance, on my computer now, oh my God. Here's 15, 30, 45, 60 programs running all at the same time. Literally, right now, running programs all in the background of the computer. Sheesh. Molten Man diorama base for my collection. Isn't that what's coming out with the Night Monkey Spider-Man, right? The Molten Man. Want to go to the hassle of selling the Night Monkey? Dude, I ordered two of those. Ordered one with the Molten Man and one without. I'm almost positive I did. I think I ordered two of those. It's kind of like the Sandman diorama with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, right? I really want the Tobey Maguires. I really hope that Hot Toys makes all the little video game series PS4 Spider-Man, especially now that we got a PS5 Spider-Man coming out, Miles Morales version, right? Looked great. Who is shipping you the deluxe version Captain Marvel? Who did I buy that one from? I originally had ordered the deluxe version and the standard version. I canceled the standard version, so I have only the deluxe version because of money issues. I only have the deluxe version coming. I wanted both Captain Marvels. I've got my deluxe coming from Big Bad Toy Store. Who are you getting your deluxe from in the next 3 days? Light by his head sculpt? Who makes that? Yeah, the bird finally shut up. No doubt. CBS Sci-Fi, who are you getting your Captain Marvel from? Camden Walker, if you found a Mark 42 Hot Toys 1/6 scale MMS 197 DO2 diecast on eBay for $70, yeah, I'm gonna say it's a scam. It's more than likely the vinyl PVC one, or it's not the DO2 diecast. Hungry? No, that bird's not hungry. That bird has raw sunflower seeds, millet, an apple, and celery in there. Oh, you're hungry. CBS Sci-Fi, if you're still here, man, I am curious who you're getting your Captain Marvel shipped to you from. I would like to know because I want mine. supposedly I've got coming Captain Marvel Deluxe. Still waiting on the Insect Lady from Super Duck. Don't know if that's ever going to happen. The Old Soldier Avengers in-game Captain America from minifigure. Captain America, Captain Rogers World War II Army SSR uniform, clothing accessory set from One Toys. The Mark 50 Nano Armor Energy Amplifier accessory from a company called Third Party. The Miles Morales Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Arachnid figure bundle from Young Rich Toys. The Wasp and Ant-Man from Ant-Man and the Wasp. China is showing the Ant-Man figure being photographed by different people, so I assume that one's coming. Gamora, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thanos Avengers Endgame, Iron Man Mark 85 diecast, the Jawa and the EG6 Power Droid, Peter B. Parker from Young Rich Toys, Black Widow Avengers Endgame, Captain America Avengers Endgame, Hawkeye Avengers Endgame, both versions, that one and the deluxe version. Spider-Man Stealth Suit from Far From Home Deluxe, Spider-Man Stealth Suit from Far From Home Not Deluxe, Spider-Man Iron Spider from PS4, Tony Stark Team Suit Avengers Endgame, we've got 2 of those coming. The Venom Pool Rocket from Avengers Endgame, Iron Man Mark 47 diecast reissue edition, both of those, 2 of those ordered. Juggernaut made by Toys Era. Toys Era normally delivers, so I expect that Juggernaut to come. I don't think that's going to be one that's going to slip through the cracks. Really looking forward to that Deadpool Juggernaut. Deadpool 2 Juggernaut. Nebula Avengers Endgame. I thought I ordered 2 of those. I guess I only have 1 of those coming. Star-Lord Avengers Infinity War. War Machine Mark 6 Avengers Endgame. Iron Patriot, which I have labeled as the Mark 7 Avengers Endgame. Spider-Man Upgrade Suit. Far From Home. I ordered 2 of those? 3 of those? Evidently I have 3 of those on order. Spider-Man Far From Home homemade suit version. Hulk from Avengers Endgame, so that's be Professor Hulk. Thor Avengers Endgame rescue suit, Mark 49, which is Pepper's Mark 49, not Tony's Mark 49. The Silver Hero figure from ADD Toys, which will be a Silver Surfer. Captain America Avengers Edition, Avengers Endgame. Evidently I have 3 of those on order. Spider-Man Armor Mark 4 suit from Spider-Man PS4. Iron Man Mark 85 Battle Damage version, Special Exclusive Edition, and Iron Man Mark 85 Battle Damage version, Collector's Edition. Mysterio, Miles Morales Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse from Hot Toys, and Gwen Stacy Spider-Gwen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse from Hot Toys, and the new Loki Avengers Edition, Avengers Endgame. That's the figures that I have coming. And plus the Spider-Gwen and the Punisher War Machine that I've been told are on the way. Every date that Juice does on the Vulture brings me one step closer to ordering it. Only how tall is Marvel Villain supposed to be? Cheap, I was wrong. Well, he's supposed to be 12 inches tall because he's 1/6 scale, right? So 3 feet long when you take in those wings. I'm really scared of the Vulture, man. I really am disappointed with the Land Speeder. It's a resin piece. I thought it would be plastic, so it's resin. So I'm curious how much of the Vulture is going to be plastic or die cast, and how much of it is going to be resin. And the windscreen on the Land Speeder has totally fogged up from the super glue or the modeling glue that they use to apply it. It's just fogged. The entire thing is fogged. It looks really bad, and I'm really disappointed in that. I never liked how the engines sit on the piece, and the cockpit is just really not very detailed at all. So when I see the Millennium Falcon and all the detail that he's showing that he's done to the Millennium Falcon, I feel disappointed, that he didn't do that same detail to the land speeder, because there's images of the land speeder cockpit that has a lot of detail to it, and I just feel that maybe, and it's not his first diorama. He's been making dioramas for years, and I just expected a little bit more on the land speeder. So that's just scaring me away from Vulture. And I guess I want to see the Falcon cockpits to see if he's improved on that, to see if he's using plastic now for the creation of it, or if it's still resin. And if he's still using resin, how much of the Vulture is going to be resin, which is going to make him very fragile. You know what I mean? It's a sculptured piece in that instance. And as you know, Hot Toys figures, you can't count on your 1/6 scale figures to be sitting on the shelf all time forever. So sooner or later, one of them is going to fall over. And if it's a brittle resin, you're going to be so disappointed after spending so much money on this Vulture, and it ended up being broken. Oh, so that's what scares me. I'm really scared of the Vulture. I'm really excited to see him take on such a beautiful piece, and it's quite a project to do that. But the land speeder really scared me. Really scared me a lot. No, I did not hear they wanted to make a Captain Kirk bisexual. Hey, you know what? I would almost believe that Captain Kirk was bisexual. Hell, he slept with everything in the planet. What was that in Search for Spock? Or no, The Voyage Home? Was it The Voyage Home? Where they were put onto uh, put in jail more or less by the Klingons and sent to the icy world. And he's making out with that shapeshifter. And she turned into him. And they kind of made a joke about him making out with himself. I am really tired though of them changing a figure or a character that is solidly built into a certain way. There's no need to change somebody that is somebody. You know what I mean? If you can't write a new character, if you are not creative enough to create your own character, why are you screwing around with somebody else's creation? For real. Make your own. If you can't make your own, you're in the wrong business. If you're trying to create something and you can't create your own, why are you even bothering? You're not a creator. You're a thief. He has slept with an alien. He was the big joke is the Orion slave girl, right? The Millennium Falcon. I've seen that. You can get it with or without the glass. I've seen that. It'd be nice to hear about the Batmobile too. Like I said, I thought it was going to be plastic. He didn't say what it was going to be fabricated out of. I just assumed it was going to be plastic, and I'm really not impressed. I'm really disappointed with the land speeder. I'm happy to have it. Okay, I'm happy to have it, but the build quality is not there. You know, it's like if I say to you Hot Toys quality, an image will come to your mind. And an expectation is there. Now, not all Hot Toys are perfect either. And you have to have your super glue, and you have to be ready to accept something maybe broken or whatever, and hope that they can get it taken care of. But there's still a sense or a quality to the Hot Toys name that you should be able to see. And the land speeder is not even close to Hot Toys quality. So, and I'm not trying to bash Juice. I mean, he's taken on a hell of an endeavor and a project upon himself, and the fact that he's even doing it, I applaud him. I'm not, motivated or capable of doing that. So the fact that he's able to do that is fantastic, but extremely disappointed with the land speeder, and that's what's keeping me from getting the Vulture. I mean, money's tight in the first place, but I certainly don't want to put any money into something that I'm going to just be disappointed in, for real. The joints of the wings or die cast would be good because of the weight of it. So it makes me wonder how much of it is going to be resin. What resin weighs more than plastic? Safe space figure. No safe space figure coming out. Joints of the wings are die cast. Same type windows like the land speeder, and that's fine. It's a PVC or a Lexan or acrylic, but when they glued it, the fumes from the glue fogged the window, and it looks terrible. It really looks bad. The way they, I may have to go get it to show you so I can see what you're talking about. Oh, it says I've been disconnected. I'm connected here. My mess. You guys have seen my mess. Jeez. So embarrassed. So I don't know what chat happened. I got the 66 Batman basically has the same type windows like the land speeder. And the next chat that pops up is, I think it was being sold for about $1,000. I think, I don't know if anything was said in between there, but it didn't pop through. So, but I've shown you guys the window before on the land speeder, and it was sloppy in that regards as to how they did that. Maybe you guys out there who have the land speeder didn't get it done like that. Maybe I'm the lucky one that just happened to have the poorly crafted one, but no. Cool. So you're talking about Vulture, or you're talking about the Millennium Falcon? Save on in regards to what it's made out of. The Vulture. Cool. So if he's plastic, like a model kit, that would be the way to go. And that's what I thought the land speeder was going to be crafted the same way, out of plastic. It was not. So, do you know whether he said the Vulture is being made out of plastic? You say it's not being made out of resin, so it's plastic and die cast. That'd be different, but because the land speeder is not. Let me go get my. I'm gonna go get my land speeder so I can show you what I'm talking about. Oh. So this entire piece is resin. It's not plastic. I'm trying to see if you can see the windshield here. There. See all the fogging in that windshield? It's from the glue. And these guys do not even stay in place at all. And I wasn't too pleased with the way that they did the little mesh on the front of the engine compartments either. They just took a piece of screen and just shoved it in there. You know what I mean? But this isn't plastic. It's cast resin. So I'm happy to have it. There's the cockpit. Turn you upside down. I'm happy to have it, but the quality just isn't there. You know what I mean? So that's what scared me of the Vulture. That's what scared me from the Vulture. And once it finally comes out, it's probably going to be an amazing piece, and I'm probably going to regret not getting it. All right, and how it always works out. Every room in the house is a different color. Red, yellow, blue, orange, black, white, green, pink. He doesn't fit in here. So Juice made a this back hatch could come out, so you could put C-3PO in here, but C-3PO's legs don't bend. So here you go. You can see inside there. By the way, you see the cast resin up inside there. See inside of it. But no, he doesn't fit in there. So I've been contemplating, I guess, buying a Sideshow C-3PO just so I can bust up and stick his little legs in there. But that's where they're supposed to go. His little legs are supposed to go in there. This piece comes out. So like I said, I'm glad he made it. Nobody else is making one. I have a 1/6 land speeder, just very cool. But I'm disappointed. Killing all them Womprats. He killed them left and right like a psycho. Yeah, putting legs in there. Except C-3PO's legs don't bend at the knee. You can take one of the legs off. The silver one comes off. So you're saying that's what Luke's window's supposed to look like from the movie? Let me see if I have images that of the land speeder when Juice was sending them out. Should. Here we are. Scan through them real quick myself. So this is the original with shorter windscreen. $400 I paid for that. So here's some juiced images. His first scale and then his rescaled version of it before going into production. And that windshield isn't all scuffed and hazed. These are some that were in production, if I remember correctly. And see, that windshield's not all hazed. This was some pre-production when the smaller windscreen. And I think this was a smaller scale too. So it's the full 1/6 scale here. So these images aren't fair to look at. This is different, but these were supposedly, from my understanding, some of the production pieces here. So just my opinion. It's my opinion of it. I don't think it should have turned out the way that it did, personally. R2 will lay it there. He'll lay on the back. There's plenty of room for him. It's 1/6 scale. Yeah, because Rise of Skywalker was a joke. The last 3 movies were terrible. You just lay R2 on there. I have episode 4 figures thinking selling but still torn. Those original 3 were special for those who grew up, but hard having them knowing how they crapped on the characters. Yeah, it's almost like as if you can just take the original 3 movies, or what they call now 4, 5, and 6, which weren't called 4, 5, and 6 originally, even though George told us in the beginning it really was movie 4, but it never said that anywhere. It was called Star Wars. And then Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars Return of the Jedi. It wasn't Star Wars 4 A New Hope. That wasn't what it was ever. It wasn't called that originally. Although he said it was the 4th movie story. He said there was 3 earlier stories, but he said they weren't really good stories. That's why he just went right to number 4, because he felt number 4 was the best story. But yeah, you can't go wrong with the first 3, 4, 5, and 6, or Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Jedi, Return of the Jedi. You can't go wrong with those stories. Oh, one of the things that I'd heard was that they said they would be happy to remake Firefly if they could fit it into today's messages. Now, if you know anything about Firefly, it, in my opinion, was perfect as it was, the story that they told. It was edgy, and it was opinionated, and it had messages and meanings, and those are the story and opinions and messages and meetings they need to leave it at. What I was hearing when they were saying if they could make it fit into today's genre, I guess they're going to try to do whatever it is that they do to the movies when they remake them now, which is totally destroy them. And if that's the case, leave Firefly alone. I'll be happy without ever seeing a remake or a continuation of the Firefly story if that's what their intention was. And literally, that was pretty much what they commented, that they'll be happy to revisit Firefly if they can fit it into today's messages. Oh, give me a freaking break. Leave it alone. If that's the case, don't revisit Firefly. Leave it alone. Yeah, Luke sucking on the green milk monster, Leia flying like Superman, and have Han becoming a deadbeat dad who won't even shave when he shows as a memory. Isn't that a crying shame? I love my C3PO from Sideshow. He's great. Hot Toys has showed us a C3PO, but they never put it up for orders with the red arm, and I'd buy that too. Sexy Ben, the sexy Ben. I don't know, Alec Guinness. You can't go wrong with either Kenobi, but I really want to get an Alec Guinness Kenobi for my land speeder and a Luke. Yeah, I have Juice as a friend and Jazz Inc. Both of them. That's how I bought the land speeder, and I've seen the updates on the Millennium Falcon, and they look great. And like I said, the cockpit on it is amazing. You've seen the cockpit on the land speeder. It's just, I'm, I'll let you guys make the investment this time, and you tell me how the land speeder turned out. Okay, we'll go from there. We'll go from there. You tell me. I mean, your Millennium Falcon. You tell me how the Millennium Falcon turns out, and we'll go from there. You got a nice collection of the Star Wars figures. Sounds like Robert. Sexy Ben. The deluxe R2, the Hot Toys deluxe. Oh, the Sideshow R2. The Sideshow R2 is neat. The Hot Toys R2 is superb. The Hot Toys R2 is superb. The one with all the stuff on it. That'd be a cool Detolf. All your Luke's, all your Jedi's in it. Oh yeah. This is The Office. CBS Sci-Fi. I was curious. You said you have Captain Marvel coming. Who is sending you your Captain Marvel? Who are you getting that from? Because I have not heard about my Captain Marvel Deluxe coming out. I see that regular Captain Marvel is in stock, but not the Deluxe. Who are you getting your Deluxe from? Oh, okay. The Good, the Bad, and the Robot, or something like that. So I'll probably be getting notification of the Deluxe Marvel probably in a month. Jeez. I'm always seem to be a month behind everybody else. I'm the last person on the planet to get any figure. Like I said, I'll be getting the Punisher War Machine. I was just notified, I think, on Thursday that it's available for me now to be shipped. It normally takes about 2 weeks to be shipped to me because I choose the $4 shipping, and that's fine. I mean, being the last person to get it in the first place, I'm not putting them up on eBay and getting a million likes because no one's or views because no one's seen it yet. By the time I get it, everybody's already seen every single one of it. There's so many reviews have been done, it's not even funny. I've not seen this Captain Marvel head with the glowing eyes. Who makes that? Where'd you see that at? I don't see that anywhere. There's a third-party company that's making a Captain Marvel, a couple of them actually. Is that what you're talking about? I've not seen just a head sculpt though, with glowing eyes. Oh, it looks like Hawkeye's shipping out in Hong Kong now. There's an AC Play Captain Marvel. There's a couple of Captain Marvels made by third-party companies, but I've not seen a glowing eyes head sculpt. Who makes that? Oh, on eBay. 25. What? What's the grin I'm missing? That's the joke. This is the guy on eBay who's making the glowing head Captain Marvel. It's like car parts. Chuzzlewitz models 2955. No exact match is found. What in the world? You guys are making me crazy. Buy art. Amazed. The Amazed, I think, is a figure, an entire figure, right? I'm pretty sure you can get the Amazed as a figure. One second. I think the Amaze is a third-party name for one of the Captain Marvels. One second. So many doggone resources. Here we go. So I've considered getting this because you also get the Flurkin with, the Flurkin there, little pager or whatever. So here's the pieces. There's the glowing eyes. So that's the glowing eyes is from this, which is a natural hair Captain Marvel. I've batted around getting this, by the way. So there's the glowing eyes Captain Marvel that you were speaking of. This is on 16 Outfitters website. And so here's some of the things that they're selling currently. Trinity. A couple of people have made this figure, if I remember correctly. I've looked at this and wondered if it could be made into a Spider Noir. Great looking Robin over there. A couple of Bonds. There's a Bucky. The Claw. He's one I want to order. The two Venoms here. There's another Captain Marvel. Hot Toys version of the new Captain Marvel. This piece is perfect. If you need to get one of these, comes with all 3 arc reactors pieces. So I'm considering getting one of those. $75 plus shipping and handling. There you go. Surprised they never made a Chris Reeve Superman with red eyes. Which one was the one they made with red eyes? Flash Gordon King set. They have him as a king. Cool. Cool. Yeah, the one I've seen here on eBay is an amazed glowing eyes. Go back to the eBay site. Look more. Used to be all eBay was combined. You had like the total world. You've seen all of it on there. Now you only see like the America. You have to go into it to look for the UK versions of eBay. Used to be everything was there all the time. All the glowing ones here are under the Amazed set on this. So that is that. It's the only one I see on, the American version of eBay with the glowing eyes. It's the Amazed head sculpt. So I guess I've guys have had you now for 2 hours and a half. So if I get my War Machine Punisher or my Spider Gwen by next Saturday, we'll be doing those. It'd be hard to say. Like I said, I normally get 1/6 kits figures before I get the Big Bad Toys figures. So my Spider Gwen might come. It might be 2 weeks because I just paid for them a couple days ago. So they might not be here yet. But that'll definitely be 2 weeks worth of unboxing videos in that regards. I've now shown you all of the figures that I have, so you've seen them all, and I need to set the 4K camera up, which I got in the other room, and just 4K all of my collection, because this only broadcasts out, I think, 720p or something like that, which is really, an embarrassment in regards to things. You really can't get the quality of it, but the 4K camera, you end up getting it at 3160 resolution compared to 720. It's over 4 times better. So, and then I would just premiere the video. I really need to do that. Look at eBay, okay? I got eBay open still. What you need me to look at when I get to eBay? That's what I just showed you. That was the one I just showed you. Buy art by art, Amazed. That's the one. That's exactly the one I just showed you guys. Showed you the whole figure. So there's somebody selling just the head sculpt to that. See? By art. So that head sculpt is for this figure. There's the eyes. The glowing eyes. So if you want just the figure, I mean the whole figure, $179.99. It comes with the Flurkin and the little pager, and there's your hair. Or you can get just the head from eBay if you want to use your Captain Marvel body. If it fits. Don't know if it will fit on there directly or not. But yeah, that's they call it the Amazed. You can't call it Captain Marvel. There's the eyes. Because it's third party, and it's the real hair compared to the sculpted hair. Some of y'all like sculpted hair. Some of y'all like the rooted hair. And I see arguments for both. You know, when my hair is all frizzed out on my figures and I don't know how to control it. And this is already frizzed out, right? Look at that. But that's by art. The Amazed. Yeah, there's a handful of them on eBay here too. So $40 or 40 pounds? Because 40 pounds was like $60 in the United States. It's like 1.5 or something pounds to dollars. Yeah, and I agree. It's Ripley's cat from Alien. $40. I mean, what is that though? $40, $40 or 40 pounds? 40 United States dollars? Jonesy, that's the name of the cat, right? Jonesy. What's eBay say they're selling it for? Go back to it again. I closed it out. $39.99 United States, or $180 plus shipping for buy arts. And of course, eBay, you're going to be paying for your tax as well. So another $5 in tax, more or less. Free shipping, it says $40, 40 US dollars on these with the glowing eyes. So there you go. If, however, the head sculpt fits, if it will fit your Hot Toys figure. Right? I've ended up with head sculpts before that didn't fit. That's always fun. Bucks. Yeah, but Hong Kong uses dollars. Mark 7, dude. Unless you're like a War Machine collector and you need the War Machine for your collection, or your Punisher collection, or Daredevil collection, and you need them for that. The Mark 7 diecast is, it's like a pinnacle piece. If you don't have any Iron Man, you could buy the Mark 7 and that would be a perfect single piece for fact. I mean, you don't need any other. If you're just like trying to tell an Iron Man story, the Mark 7 diecast, for real. I mean, for real. If it's down to the point of one or the other only, and it'll never be the other, Mark 7, for fact. The diecast is a big difference over the plastic one. Huge improvement. Redesigned, reimagined, totally operates in a different capacity. Totally bigger, bulkier, it's nicer. Different shade of red. It's kind of a satin finish compared to the glossy red. And if you look at the movies, because I've gone back to that after complaining about the satin finish, it really is a satin finish in the movies too. Certain pieces you need. I think the Mark 7 is like a single piece. If you were just to put in an Iron Man as like your piece to show you have the Iron Man, Mark 7 all day long. It's a good mold of comic and Iron Man in general. He's got the red and the silver and the gold and all in one, and he has a lot of different ways of posing him, different ways of showing him, and you know, with the shoulder rockets on or off, and the chest pieces on or off, and the thigh pieces on or off. I mean, open and closed on the missile displays. It's You can't go wrong with the Mark 7. War Machine Punishers for the minigun. There's lots of War Machines out there, and I'm not sure what minigun you're talking about. You're gonna make me have to look this up, aren't you? Let's have a look at the minigun. War Machine. Where's the Punisher? There we go. No. That can't be that. I don't know if I have him under Punisher. Looking under War Machine, I don't see it. Let's look under P Punisher. Here we go. Now let's see this minigun. Definitely has some neat little guns on them. I have a high quality image for some reason. There's your War Machine Punisher. And yeah, this one looks like the standard one on the War Machine, but this one looks different. I don't remember seeing this one on the War Machine by itself. But if you, like I said, if you're a Punisher or a War Machine collector, then yeah, definitely the Punisher War Machine. If you are not, you know, I don't know, it's going to fall under, you know, are you going to be getting stuck with a figure that you don't have that much connection to? You know, a gun is neat, but if it's not a figure that you have an emotional connection to, then you end up looking at it thinking, God, why did I waste $450 on this? I hate this figure. You know, much rather would have bought this or that or whatever. Make sure you have a connection to your figure before you buy it, especially when they're that expensive. That guy's no joke. He is not a cheap figure. Mark 46 is a beautiful piece. 46 and 47, hell yeah. And there's a big difference between the original plastic Mark 7 versus the die cast. Big difference. Stealth and Sub-Zero. Yeah, I love all my plastic Mark 7s. I won't get rid of them. I don't think the die cast replaced them. It's added to. Judge Dredd can take them. Probably. Probably. You know, it'd be interesting to see if he can. For instance, I remember a person telling me that they had bought the little Hot Toy the Hot Toy busts. Hot Toys, before they started cranking out all the figures like they did, they made these busts, and you could get Iron Patriot and War Machine and Mark 17 and the Mark 7, and I don't remember how many they made. They made like, I think 12 or so different versions of these, 2 releases of these mini busts of 6 sets a piece. I think it was 7, or there's like a holographic one in them. Anyhow, the guy wanted to be able to take the minigun off of the Iron Patriot and put it onto his hot rod, and it didn't work. They weren't compatible. And he says that he wasted whatever it was, 30, $40 or whatever on the little bust and couldn't put the gun onto his hot rod. And I didn't understand that. I didn't understand how it wouldn't fit. And I've been so tempted to track that little bust down just to try for myself. So I'm like, how can that not be that it didn't fit on there? But I never made that purchase just to get the little gun on there. So keep that in mind. It might not be interchangeable. And that is, you'll really regret it then if you've gone that far into something and can't get it to work on there without it being interchangeable. Now, saying that, I'll say this. Through modification, anything can be done. A little super glue, a little model glue, your X-Acto knife, you can make anything fit. But, do you want to start cutting into your Hot Toys figures? That's another topic that truthfully is debatable on so many different sides. So keep that in mind also. And I'm going to do the pod with my Titan. I got that Titan Iron Man coming to customize it. You could do it with the Mark 7, but I'm not going to cut up a $200 Hot Toys Mark 7 to put a pod on it. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. And Dredd would hate Punisher. He would definitely be judged quickly. Yeah, oh man, I so wish I'd got the Netflix Punisher. I so badly want that. And yeah, they need to be standing side by side. Agreed. 100% agreed. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. That's why I got the pod sit here. I've got the Titan, just waiting for it to be delivered sometime between now and July, middle of July. It's supposed to come here. Now that is, and I'll be putting these pieces onto that Titan Iron Man, which cost me $10 to get. I'll be making that happen. So instead of cutting up a Hot Toys Mark 7, I'll be cutting up a little Titan Mark 7. Put the minigun on a Predator. Definitely, yeah, definitely. Show what you've done. That'd be cool. Share it on your Facebook or whatever you got. So I think I'm going to let you guys go. I've had you almost 3 hours now. Thank you very much. Thank you, patrons. I love you guys. I do have a Patreon account, and I've nothing to give you but this. A platform for us to hang out and talk and chat and discuss, and let me show you what I got, and you guys share what you have. Consider Patreon a tip to me. Like I said, if you go to a restaurant and you have good meal and your wait staff treated you well, and you leave her a tip, you leave them a tip. You know what I mean? If you enjoy what I'm doing, throw $1 my way, $2, $3, whatever you want. Go to Patreon, and I would appreciate that so much. It just lets me know that you enjoy what I'm doing, and it's just a tip. So, if you feel inclined to help me out, trust me, your $1 is not going to make or break me. It's not going to be buying me any figures, but it just is satisfaction to know that you guys appreciate what I'm doing, because nobody else does. YouTube doesn't give a damn what I'm doing. They don't. I'm not making money off of YouTube. Making money off of YouTube. I get a pittance from them, but it's pennies. It's CPM, cents per milli, cents per thousand of clicks is how you're paid, and I am at 2 cents per thousand. And you see how many people are viewing these? A couple hundred. So no, I'm not making money on YouTube. Don't think for 1 second. And I don't need your money. I'm not a poor person. I'm not rich. I'm just normal, like any of you guys are. And I spend my money on toys. But if you were to throw $1 my way, it just means that you think what I'm doing is worth a tip. And if you consider doing that, check me out on Patreon, Siri Emerald for Patreon. Like, subscribe, share, tell everybody where to go. Welcome them into the family. Like I said, I'd be happy to open this up. I have a Facebook of 1/6 Scale News and Reviews. I've hardly ever even used. I'd love to have an administrator. I'd open that up to you guys if you wanted to. Somebody wanted to take over that. Definitely. So definitely, I will see you guys. Welcome. Thank you for sticking around with me. It's really good to see you guys. I thank you for my Patreons. Thank you for your you guys for being here. Like I said, I missed you for the first hour, or however long it was. I couldn't chat with you. It was driving me absolutely insane. I look forward to you. I hope as much as you guys look forward to me. So thank you. I enjoy the relationship. We see that quarter. All right, guys. We will see you go. Peace out, man. Love you guys. Bye.